Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Summer is upon us. How is everyone? Oh, my goal was to be in red today. I did blue last week. I want to give special gratitude to the wonderful, let me see if I get her name. I think I have the name right. Lenore out of Alabama. Thank you for the hat. Oh, I was wearing it wrong. Oh my. Oh, that's quite a hat. I told people that I had gotten interested in hats, and the lovely Lenore was kind enough to send me a hat. So I thank her for that. Lenora. Are we public? Is the stream public? Let me check the stream real fast. Okay. We are, right? We're public. Just want to make sure everything is okay before we get started. Yes, all is good. How is everybody? Hi, Joel. How you doing? Hi, Sue Malik. Great to see you here. Hello, and Dylan. Wonderful to have you here. We want to welcome our latest empath and healer and elder. Karen Perea Gannon has joined the Healers and Empaths. We look forward to meeting you on Wednesday. We will be discussing some pretty interesting topics, including trance state and abiding in trance in order to receive messages from Divine Spirit. That's actually week 4, but you can join our class anytime. You can dive in at any time. All the classes are self-contained, and if you'd like to catch up by looking at earlier videos, you can certainly do so. And the syllabus for the class is also printed in the comment section of the coursework. I hope I said that all for you, Karen, and we welcome you. Hi, Deborah Murphy. Wonderful to have you here. Claudia Veras in the house from Astoria, New York. Hi, Joel Tilson, keeping us kosher, helping us out today. Life is a mindset, Lorraine. Awesome to see you. It was good speaking with you yesterday. We have a Saturday get together for members. All members are free to attend. It's a private brunch on Saturdays, and we do private readings if you want to join us. Annika Loffling, hi. How's Stockholm, Sweden? You know, if you're a card reader, the good news is if you want to be a teleworker, you go to Scandinavia in the summer, right? I bet you guys get a lot of teleworkers in the summer, people running from the heat. But good to have you here. Karen Perea Gannon, yes, we welcomed you. Good to see you. Southern California, be sure and tell us all where you're coming from as we open this brunch table to the 4 corners of the earth. I am the hostess with the mostest. For those of you who are joining us today for brunch, please come and join us. Everyone is welcome to our brunches. We don't care what your religious or political affiliation, none of that matters. We don't insult people here. We create a safe space we assume we are all adults until proven otherwise and can have intelligent, respectful discourse. Yes, so we welcome you. Be kind to all so that all can be kind to you is the only rule we ask for. And we also just want to give gratitude. If I don't hear any of the questions today, be sure and reach out to the people that are helping out as moderators, like Joel Tilson and Desiree Robato. Hi, Sarah Lynn in Tucson, Arizona. I had the most boring breakfast. You guys want to hear it? I bought cottage cheese, low fat. I didn't look at the label. I took a bite of it. I said, this tastes really not good. It was no salt cottage cheese, which is probably healthier. I thought, oh no. So I sprinkled salt into it until it tasted like cottage cheese. And then I sliced up a banana. That's an easy thing you can do, is like eat some fruit if you're okay with dairy. I'm Northern European, so I can do dairy. Sometimes I'll throw some nuts in it or some frozen berries. Today I didn't. And then I have my coffee. This is the Cafe d'Art that 1111 was kind enough to ship me. And I woke up this morning and I could have sworn I saw a note that he was shipping me another 5 pounds. Oh my God. Is that not kind? Anyway, so I'm doing that and I'm doing an ice water. So a boring breakfast, but I'm here with you and that's what counts. Hi, Copper Broom. Great to see you here. Sarah Lynn, we said hi to Debbie M. Great to see you. Thanks for being a member. K Travel Tarot, thank you for being a member and supporting me and the channel. Hope you're doing great. If you need to see me or you need me to pick up anything for you or anything, she and I are friends. We live in the same town. Just text me anytime, girlfriend. I got you. Hi, Jay Sherelle. Hello. Lilia Corvabius, great to see you. Oh, you like the hat? Lenora from beautiful Alabama sent it to me as a gift. Gonna have to send a thank you note to Lenora. Yes, Lenora is the name. Thank you. Yeah, I was looking at tops. I wanted to wear a top that was going to match with the hat that she sent me. He, she, they sent me, and I think I got it. I think I got it right. And then I did my eye colors in pink and green. I don't know if y'all can see. I kind of matched. I was trying to match with the eye color the colors of this, of the, the colors. I was trying to match them. I don't know if I succeeded. I used to study makeup, not professionally, just, as a hobby. Okay. Oh, Joanna Carson's in Dallas. So listen, you guys, I want to talk a little bit about West Texas. Man, I am feeling the concerns. Here's the thing let's go ahead and start some remotes unless anybody has any announcements. Does anybody have any announcements we need to make? Oh, yes. Thank you. I just started picking. You guys send me psychic vibes. Thank you. We do have a book club that we have started here on the Oracle of Whimsy. The book club is to promote books that are written by members of our community, not famous books, but people who are part of our community. In order to support their work, we believe that our purpose in life is to create heaven on earth, and that each of us are brought here to create heaven on earth. That's why we're on the planet, to have fun and to share our goodness with the world. So many people are writers. That's what they came to do. So we want to help support that. Isabel's Starry Night has been selected for our June read. If you would like to join us at the end of the month, we usually get together on the last Tuesday of the month at the end of the Tuesday show, and we will be discussing our book of the month. And it's a great way of also financially supporting and promoting people in our community, their work, their mission in life. It's written by Wanda Webster and Richard M. So I hope we all are going to enjoy reading that. I have not selected the July book yet. However, if you would like to be considered for our book club, you can send the books to 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Portland, Oregon, 97201. And that address is below this video. That is the P.O. box for the channel. And we are accepting books. Yeah. So there's that. Here's Flopsy saying hi to everybody. Well, what do you guys want to talk about before we do the Empath prayer? We can go over all of, aggravated progressive. Hi. Alabama was rough on me. Oh, but it's one of the most beautiful states. It's considered physically, and Arkansas as well. A lot of states people never go to that are just physically stunning, and supposedly Alabama is considered breathtaking, but a lot of people don't know it. Same with Arkansas. I have friends that have backpacked across Arkansas and said that they've never seen such beautiful country before. So that's the great thing about if you are somebody who wants to do road trips, maybe get a friend to go with you and share gas now that gas prices are going down, or even better if you've got an electric. But go see America, man. Now's a great time to see America. So Joel Tilson is, like I said, he is our moderator. He will be checking the floor to make sure he catches everyone's question. He's basically a guy with a microphone. That's how you have to look at Joel Tilson. He's going to walk the floor and just see. So if he's throwing up questions, he's usually picking up what is going on in the room. So as many of you know, Texas is now under investigation for voter suppression. We've talked about the feds possibly going into Texas. Do people want to talk about the fact that there's evidence they threw out legitimate votes? Was it in Harrison County out of Texas, 2.5, an admission of guilt by the AG, who's just been he's been kicked out. Do you want to talk about it? Hopefully this makes Linda G feel better. And all the other readers that were picking up Texas and saying, it isn't Beto. But the records, it kept throwing and it kept coming out King of Wands, King of Wands, King of Wands. And we were just scratching our head when it wasn't Beto, because we don't manipulate the cards. The cards are the cards. You throw them out and then you just show people the cards. And 2.5 million votes, predominantly Democrats. I mean, is it legal to cheat in Texas? And at what point, I guess what I'm throwing out to you all is, at what point do the feds get involved? Is removing the AG at the state level going to be enough? What do you think? Guy admitted to it on tape. That Beto had won and that he threw out legitimately 2.5 votes out of Harrison County because he knew that if he didn't, Beto would be the governor. It's a pretty serious admission. And it goes back to those feelings that we keep getting. Keep your eye on Texas, keep your eye on Texas. And also the energy of the federal investigations. We have federal investigations from Homeland because of a lot of abuse that took place. That was the first thing that happened. There was horrific abuse reported out of Texas, but also stealing funds that were supposed to go towards the immigrants. That's an investigation, which I don't even know if that's public information yet. So those were some of the remotes. Other remote, I wanted people to keep their eyes on Texas, as I had mentioned, because when I aligned myself with the weather of Texas, I found that the entire western part, going all the way from the south into Laredo, all the way into Lombok, the entire western area was going to be flooding basically, and was going to be turning green. So we now have that. See, I thought you guys were going to get more. I don't know. I didn't think it was going to happen overnight. People had asked me if I could go forward to 2050. We did an experiment where I went to 2050. And when I went to 2050, I found that the entire western half of Texas had gone green and that trees were growing. So what appears to have happened with global warming is that there's a shift in the weather patterns, and the temperature could actually be dropping in that area. There's a cold front from what I'm able to pick up. And so that whole area is collecting a lot of rain. It usually gets, I think in Lombok, I looked it up, 19.5 inches, but we're now looking at 30 inches, 40 inches. So obviously that's more than the area can hold if this trend continues, and it looks like it will And so we're going to start seeing lakes where lakes haven't existed for thousands of years. We're going to start seeing new forest coming up in that area, spreading all the way into parts of New Mexico, Arizona, etc. Questions about that? I think it's, it depends on how you look at it. If you love Texas, if you love the state of Texas, this is a wonderful time to be in Texas. And a lot of people want to, I have personally spoken to people that have bought land in Texas, and they say, I'm not leaving because I see what's happening in Texas. I see the green transformation, and I want to be here for the transformation. I want to be here for this process. Lubick, excuse me. Thank you. Feel free to correct my English because my English is a mess. Okay. So in terms of things to talk about, also expect more tension with China. I've talked about that when I go into remote views. I'm feeling a lot of tension with China. If you've been feeling like you're under attack, it's because you are, right? My tissue. So I think that has really to do with the fact that we find ourselves in what appears to be an opium war. We've talked about that. This opium war with various different drugs that are making their way into the market. Fentanyl, and now there's the flesh-eating, what's it called, xylitine or something like that? It's a flesh-eating drug that potentiates fentanyl, so it's often combined with fentanyl. And so now we're in a situation where I think it's adults ages 18 to 45, the number one killer is fentanyl. And that's the same population. We're looking at a generation or even two generations being dramatically affected by fentanyl. So what's happening with the crisis is that the chemicals or precursors that are necessary to make the fentanyl are being made in China. Then they send those to Mexico where the fentanyl is being made, and then it's shipped at the border. But it's so minuscule. It's such a tiny product that it can easily be shipped. And they make like $500,000 in one day. So the entire town is all about the fentanyl. But energetically, when we go into the energy of China, I feel that China has got to change its ways because they're in such it's such a serious economic crisis for China right now. I don't see anything good. When I went into the remote, people asked me to go into the remote for the meeting last month. Remind me what the name of it was. It's not the G7, but it's where the wealthiest get together. I felt like what was going on secretly is that people were discussing China is in an economic disaster. It really is. You have to realize they've had their borders closed for close to 3 years. They've got another bout of COVID starting to hit the Bilderberg. It felt to me when I went into the Bilderberg that the main conversation was that China was facing an internal bankruptcy, and that was going to slide us into a potentially economic disaster for companies that are invested or making their products in China. And so this becomes a huge crisis internationally because now you can't get goods and services, and now those companies have to reassess their contracts with China. And so all of that is part of the disaster of China right now. You also realize that China is not in any kind of situation to be in conventional war with the United States. But if you look at who joins the army, it's poor people ages 18 to 30, whatever, right? Those are the people that will join the military and be soldiers. One way to take them out is to sell them on and get them to take fentanyl. And basically, if these were soldiers, we'd be losing 100,000 soldiers a year to fentanyl. Same age category and same population that would have been joining the military, right? Poor, underserved, So in a way, you could argue that China has come up with a new way to attack and go to war and kill Americans without engaging in conventional warfare. So same with disinformation about COVID cost tens of thousands of American lives. Disinformation will kill, is a faster way to kill Americans and less expensive. Just give people misinformation and the misinformation will kill them than something like conventional warfare. And unfortunately, in the case of fentanyl, that is a lot of the tension we're seeing now between the Biden administration and China, but also tension at the border, because rightly so, and this is where it's important that we listen to one another. The South and the North listen to each other. Rightly so, it's a problem. And it's a problem that is a serious crisis and has to be addressed. And we have to view it as a war because it is a war. We are at war and we are under attack. Only now we see the victims of the war dying in the streets as they're smoking their fentanyl. There goes another one taken out in this war. It's an opium war. It's a modern opium war, and it has to be viewed as such. So that was basically what I took away from it when I stepped back and looked at the situation. Okay, we covered the West Texas weather, about why this is happening, that the ecosystem would change, that it would become more like Northern California, and why a lot of people have chosen to stay during this transformation. These are positive changes we see for Texas over the next 25 years. I just wanted to be clear about that. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is George Santos. Y'all want to talk a little bit about George Santos and the remotes on George Santos? As many of you know, George Santos, I believe his bail, correct me if I'm wrong, was something like $500,000, but a group of people posted his bail. So now the press, NBC, etc., have requested it be unsealed to find out who released this guy from prison, or from jail, excuse me. So it was talked about on Midas Touch. It looks to me like McCarthy helped him out. So it's a donor associated with McCarthy, which is troublesome because evidently there's something about 4 names coming out, but I was watching the Midas Touch this morning, but it feels to me like it's going to be linked back to the GOP and McCarthy and because he's the money bags, and that he contacted a wealthy person to come up with the money, but the person that wheeled and dealed to get him out was McCarthy. Doesn't mean the money came directly from McCarthy, but McCarthy made the phone call, hey, we need this for this person. So McCarthy acted to wheel and deal it. So is that illegal? No. Is that something he probably doesn't want to have be public? Probably not. Is it obvious? Of course it's obvious. Go down and check for yourselves. It's like, go into your gut. Of course, McCarthy picked up a phone and called one of his wealthy friends and will deny any association. It wasn't my money. No, but you made the phone call. You made it happen. So it might as well have been your money, McCarthy. I would love to see Santos stay there a little bit longer. What do you think, Joel? That's an interesting conversation. Do you think he does more damage in or out? We have elections coming up. Well, this is the debate that Democrats are, this is the debate. If we get rid of him, whereas the fact that they are propping him up is really good ammo when we start taking back the House, right? If the money gets traced back to McCarthy, which it will. Well, that's the other thing, be grateful, is that this is another reason why you would want to stop Homeland Security from doing you want to put an end to Homeland because Homeland is doing an investigation on you because you can't send your financial problems to another state. And it's not just people born in other countries. It's anybody with mental health problems. That putting them on a bus from Texas to Seattle so that we end up having to take on someone's health care, that process has been going on for a really long time. And I don't know how it's legal, to be honest with you. Okay, I think we got to everything. The last thing, there's a couple things we can talk about. Celebrity gossip. As you know, Prince Harry he has started the phone hacking case against the Mirror. Not surprisingly, the editor of the Daily Mirror at the time the hacking allegations took place was Piers Morgan. So members of the Daily Mirror are running. Like there's a sense of fear here. So I think, yeah, Harriet is part of a class action lawsuit. A few people were harassed, including, I think, an actor from Downton Abbey. So, yeah, they win. I mean, you're in pretty good shape when the case starts with the Mirror apologizing. So he's running from the press. Yes, because Scotland Yard investigated it, and so it's not just a privacy issue; it's a theft issue. So, yeah, that's what was going on there. And then a couple of other last pieces of gossip that we can get into, just because I think they also have some socio-political relevance, has to do with Jill Duggar coming out. I imagine she's going to write a book, and I'm going to go ahead and predict probably a film will be made about Jill Duggar. As you all know, the Duggar family had a show on TV about raising a large family. So this is the latest thing that's in the news. I thought I would bring in a little bit of celebrity gossip because I think this is relevant to a few of the discussions we've had about human rights, etc. But basically what she's accusing them of is that, number one, she said they stole all her money, that the Duggar family took all the money from the series and the children received nothing. So this is the first allegation she makes against them. The second allegation she made against them was that she had been a victim. She'd been sexually assaulted by her brother, and that the family had pressured her to lie. So this is another allegation. And then the third allegation she's making is that against her wishes, she was forced to give birth to her baby in front of cameras. Like cameras were in her vajayjay. So it goes back into this whole idea of patriarchy, media, and a woman having control over her own body. And unfortunately, if you're watching that show or you're a consumer of this kind of fake reality TV, it's a TLC, Total Loser Channel, it makes you think about what the audience may have been inadvertently participating in, because this is, child exploitation, stealing money, and abuse, covering up sexual abuse, but also forcing a girl to have birth in front of cameras and everything else. So it just goes back to the discussions we've had about this idea of religious fundamentalism being an expression of narcissism and a need for control. That when people tend to gravitate towards fundamentalist religion, it often speaks of a kind of narcissistic personality disorder where you're convinced that you're the mouthpiece for God. And so consequently, you lack empathy for the other people whose lives you're affecting, because it's really just another expression of narcissism, I would say. I don't know. Anyway, those are my remotes today. I thought now, if you would like, I can give you the empath's prayer and we can do the community reading. Would you all like that? Well, fundamentalist religion, if a person's becoming more and more extreme, you think, well, okay, this person maybe is trying to have some control, right? Because extremism, religious extremism, might be viewed as a desperate attempt at control. So a lot of the time we'll see, it's not unusual for us to find a religious fundamentalist and then they will have narcissistic traits. Another thing that's come up in the news is Danny Masterson was convicted. He's the actor from the 70s show, and it's another example of narcissistic personality disorder. Was a member of the Scientology church, right? I'm clear, you're not. I'm, this kind of spiritual aristocracy, right? Where I'm spiritually superior to you. Unfortunately, he's now been convicted of drugging and raping 2 women, and they say he's going to get a minimum of 30 years. So, yeah, something to think about, how narcissism and extremism, religious extremism, may be just 2 expressions of the same thing. All right, let's do the empath's prayer together. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. Thank you. So this is for the collective, so we try to include everyone in the prayer. So if something speaks to you, you take it. It's like a big banquet. We're going to pass down the rutabagas, pass down what, if you don't like it, if it doesn't speak to you, just send it down. Maybe it will speak to somebody else. That's kind of how I look at the collective readings. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. More broccoli. Okay. All right, where you are at right now. Okay, so the first thing I feel when I go into this energy, and it may not be true for all of you, but for many of you, is I just see a ton of travel. And I think that the reason we're feeling all this travel energy happening right now is because it's summer. And so everybody's off to see the mommy and the daddy and the grandparents, or they're off to Europe. But you can see the karma card for you folks is y'all are going to be traveling, taking a couple road trips or even further. We can see also the world is the base of the matter. So we're also seeing international trips, great travel cards. This, if you can afford to take a trip outside the country, do so. See, I did it during the 3 years when I didn't have to pay my student loan debts. I did. It's all over now. Got it out of my system. I don't know if I'll ever travel again, considering my student loan debt. But anyway, so we have the world here and we have travel, both great cards, and both would indicate a lot of movement and positivity headed your way. Where you're at right now, here's the message from Spirit. It's very, very clear, and they want you to hear it. You will be as successful as your discipline allows. And they would like you to sit in that for a while. You will be as successful in manifesting your dream as your discipline allows. So we have a philosophy that we share here on the Oracle of Whimsy, not to take this channel too seriously or to believe that I'm a real oracle. But while we think about that, we also want you to think about, why are you on this planet? Why are you in this matrix? And we believe you're here to make this world heaven on earth, and we support your dream and we support you in that. So how can we help you with your plan to create heaven on earth, whatever that is for you? And the message, while you are in, you would not have incarnated here if you were not here to create heaven on earth, or what we talk about in spiritual aspects of Judaism is tikkun olam, the fixing of the world. You're here to create heaven on earth. So where you're at right now is the King of Swords. In Hebrew, it's called din. Din. You can spell it D-I-N if you were writing in English letters, din. The King of Swords is associated with the Hebrew word din, or discipline, borders, boundaries, the military. Make your bed. You should be able to have a quarter bounce off the bed. It's that kind of military energy that comes in. So where you sit right now is you will be as successful as your discipline. And sometimes the purpose of life is to just have fun and not be disciplined. It's to not worry so much about these things. But if you are trying to accomplish something like get that book done, if you're writing a book, or if you're trying to accomplish some anything of value in life, you must have discipline. And that is the fundamental discussion they're having with you. This also, for those of you who are having health challenges, your health can improve, but it is related to the extent of discipline you are willing to have. We can see here the crossing card is Archangel Raphael, who brings the elixir or medicine. Discipline over your daily habits regarding health are expressed here. There is a warning here that you not expose yourself to any kind of negativity, and that includes gossip. Be careful not to speak ill of other people. This is something we talk about. Don't speak ill of this group of people or that group of people. Try and be inclusive whenever. Avoid gossip. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. This is really something we think about when we think about the Stoics. All of that is burning your energy. You have a limited amount of energy in the day. What this individual has done with the Two of Swords is they've closed off their energy to anything in the outside world. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. That's all. Gossip is energy. And it's producing negative energy for you and others. Instead, your energy is limited, and it must be reserved for you creating heaven on earth. Be about your business, right? And focus on your health and your healing. You have more than enough work for you 24/7 if you were to simply take 110% responsibility for your health. If you take 100% responsibility for your health, that's going to keep you plenty busy. That and fulfilling your dream on earth. So you don't have time to be gossiping about other people or worrying about other people. What you sit in concerns about your finances, jobs, and new financial opportunities. You get what you want through discipline, and avoid toxic people and gossip. And the discipline should also go towards your health, mental, physical, spiritual health. Good stars. You came to the world with good stars, even though you may feel like, man, I had some bad luck. They say your stars are good in the sense that your desires in life are honorable. Your path is lit, but you must be disciplined. Your wish will be granted. This is the outcome of your path. Your ship comes in, 3 of Wands. Do not take offers that are less than what you want. Do not compromise your dreams. 4 of Cups stands in the 7th house. Be willing to have boundaries. Do you see all these boundaries coming up for you? You don't want it in your space. If it's a threat to you fulfilling your purpose in the world, you got to cut it out of your life. And don't compromise. Do not say yes if it doesn't meet with your standards. Others attempting to steal from you, take advantage of you. Man, don't let people in your life that don't measure up. Don't give away the pretty, as that guy would say. Hopes and fears, new beginnings for your life. And then the final outcome for you, you put the past behind you and emerges the Queen of Swords. She stands for discipline again. She's mature. She's not childish. She doesn't engage in silly things like gossip. She's an adult. She's busy. She's about her business. She carries the sword of truth. She doesn't gossip. She's not confused. She's not in other people's love affairs because she avoid the crazy. Avoid the crazy. Look at this. Many of you are artists. Look at final outcome is the treasure trove. With discipline comes the treasure trove. Empress. Creativity, artist, focus, discipline. Somebody calls you and says, I just wanted to gossip for 5 minutes. I gotta go. When I was living in Jerusalem, I had some friends. Many of my friends were Orthodox. And one of the things they taught me is the word loshan hara, which is evil tongue, evil speech, and what that can do to a community and what it can do to you karmically. And there was this group of people that wanted miracles, various different miracles to happen, like recovering from cancer or, wanting their child to find a good husband or whatever. So it was a group of people that wanted to have a miracle happen. And so the rabbi said, oh, you want a miracle? So what you have to do is you have to get yourself really clear, spiritually clear, and then you have to earn the miracle. So you have to get yourself in a spiritual state where I'm going to get myself to a higher level where I can earn this miracle. And so he said, just focus on evil tongue, what comes out of your mouth, how you speak about yourself and how you speak about other people. Just for 1 week. There was a group of ladies that came to the class. Just do it they couldn't do it. I mean, but a friend would be calling, did you hear about Sarah? I gotta go. I'm fixing for a miracle. I want my daughter to marry a really nice guy. So I can't engage in any gossip this week. So that's kind of this idea that you see in the collective today, which is pull back your energy, 4 of Cups, 2 of Swords, and focus on the discipline of your life, your health. Archangel Raphael came to you, as did Archangel Uriel, which brings the new destination. A new pilgrimage lay ahead for you with discipline, but be careful with your speech and don't listen to gossip and don't engage in it. Celebrity gossip's different because that's public, but you know what I mean? Like anything that's going to create tension and waste energy. Yeah. So that was today's reading, and I hope it gave you some clarity. Many of you will be very successful if you follow that. Ashe, ashe. I'm hoping. Thank you. All right. So that is what I have for you. I'm just going to, I guess, Lashon Hara. I'm going to just take a couple. Oh, Ruth Pearl is here. Ruth is an amazing artist. She's a brilliant artist. She's the one that painted that picture, one with looks like Mila. What else do I have to say? I guess I'm just waiting to blitz away. And I guess when we get the order, is that all I have to say to you guys? Yeah, I guess that's all. Blitz away. And yeah. And then if you, I guess Joel Carmensi, Joyce Petrus, Pierre Walker will be helping collect questions for people. They'll be walking the virtual floor, checking to make sure everyone's questions are are being answered. Is everybody good? How are people feeling about the student loans that we're going to have to start paying them back? I owe $360,000 because of medical school. I did not borrow. I should clarify that I did not borrow $360,000. I borrowed 180, and I think I paid. So far, I've paid whatever amount. It's a little scary, isn't it? Yes. Well, I'm thinking I'll do like a weekly student loan fundraiser. I'm trying to come up with some way of doing like a fundraiser. Part of me thought I could do like a car wash, right? 3-day car wash to come up with 360K. I was going to do it in West Hollywood as like a gag. But I don't know. I might do something like dedicate Tuesdays to paying off the debt. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'd be curious if there are any other baby boomers with student loan debt. It's a big problem right now in the United States. GoFundMe is a nice idea, but I want to earn it like through a party or something like that, like a weekly party, like a weekly taco party live, and then have the money just go to pay back Uncle Sam. If anybody has any ideas about how I can pay it back, like a party or something, a virtual, not one party. Obviously, it would be maybe like a weekly event for a couple years or something. I don't know. All right, so we have a question coming from Joel Tilson. Pence and Christie running this week for president. Oh, geez, really? I think the American people are so repelled by this conservatism, but let's just look at their future. Wow. That is crazy. I just feel like they live in a box. They're really disconnected from the rest of the country, Okay, let's see here. Well, Pence is not going to be prosecuted. That was one of the things that came out, is that he's not going to be prosecuted. No, neither of them become president. Delusional. Rubbing his lamp. He's okay with it. There's a federal investigation here. I see them going into the private sector. Queen of Pentacles is like a business card. I don't. You know what's weird about Pence? He presents energetically as more, in some ways, more female energetically than male. He has a lot of female energy traits. For example, he presents here as the Queen of Cups who's trapped. And that could just be a temporary identity. Maybe he felt, because of what happened, that now he's kind of in this state, but he doesn't present as a strong leadership. He presents as the Queen of Cups, who's a dreamer, who dreams. Also, Eight of Swords would not be in a position of power. There were, according to these records, if I were to just use HCRV quick technique, use these to trigger me and then go in, I would say that there were people in the Justice Department that wanted to prosecute Pence, that felt like there was evidence that he should have been charged for mishandling of private documents, but for whatever reason, they chose not to. So that's interesting information. And that makes me wonder, I didn't think it would be that serious, but that appears to be what the records are saying, is that there were people that did want to prosecute Pence, because you have the Justice Department and a Nine of Wands in terms of their perception of him. This is an incarceration card. So They want, and you have here the fear of being trapped, red tape, and delusion. So on some level, the Justice Department probably seriously considered some kind of charges. This is the race, right? The racing horse is the Knight of Wands. Same with the Chariot. Chariot is also a race. And Ace of Cups. Offer is in the private business sector. Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles is a business. So, maybe he'll get work with some of these Christian businesses. Though Christian businesses are in trouble right now because they are changing as well. Like, I don't know if you all have heard about what's going on recently with Chick-fil-A. Has anybody here ever eaten at Chick-fil-A? Did I spell it right? I apologize. So I guess they have a new CEO that wants to have more inclusion. So now they don't play the Christian music anymore at Chick-fil-A, and they are starting to have training that's friendly to the LGBTQ community. So now sales are down 30% at Chick-fil-A because of their inclusion policies. So this gets into an interesting thing. Do liberals need to start eating at Chick-fil-A? If you like chicken, if you eat chicken, sales are down 30% at Chick-fil-A. I don't know. You guys send me questions. I never ate at Chick-fil-A. I have no opinion. Popeyes is better. But evidently, if you were part of the protest, I guess I should say we should probably, if you eat this kind of food, I mean, I don't know. You can come, you can try it now. You don't have to keep boycotting because they're making smart choices and they're making the right choices. And if you're going to be eating a chicken sandwich, you might as well go there and support them since they're losing 30%. Same with Bud Light. Bud Light lost a ton of money. So again, not food I eat, but if you're going to be eating it anyway. Oh, hi, Janice. Janice, thanks for your membership. I appreciate that. And we also had an upgrade, and I wanted to give a shout out to the person. Oshun Star has upgraded to Elders and Empaths. Thank you, Oshun Star. And I look forward to seeing you in class on Wednesday. It's going to be a great class. The Popeye chicken sandwich is the bomb. Really, I haven't tried that either. I don't know. I'm like, I don't do a lot of junk food, but I think it can be fun, like once in a while, right? Okay, so let's keep blitzing away. It looks like I wouldn't lose any sleep at all about any of that if I were you. Yes, Willie Nelson and the tax man. Yes, they told me I owed a bunch of money for 2022, but I threw it away thinking, oh, well, I don't need to pay it because TurboTax took care of that when they sent me that thing and I just paid it. But it was still there a month later, and now I'm like going to be penalized. I'm thinking, I thought I paid this. So then I paid directly with my credit card. I knew I had the cash to pay the credit card, so it's not. And then it's still there. So I don't know. Maybe they're just like a couple months behind or something. I think this happened last year. And then I got a check from the IRS like 6 months later because they had I don't know. I'm completely confused about what's going on with taxes. I don't argue with them. I just write the check. That's been my way of surviving. I will live on beans and rice. I just don't want to I'm terrified of the tax man. All right, here's another question. Speaking of the tax man, how do you think Trump is doing? We did have some information coming out recently about Trump and the investigation. You guys know about the smoking gun, the fact that they also have people moving boxes. There's a lot that started to come out about just how much evidence they have against Trump right now regarding stolen documents. Anybody have any opinion about that? I also wanted to just announce that our charity is Feeding America. So if you find this even remotely entertaining to hang out with us on this Sunday and you would like to support a really good charity, Feeding America is an anti-hunger program that works with food crisis in the United States to make sure people receive food and support. So we support them. They're working with the shelters, etc. And so if you would like to donate to today's charity, we'd be very appreciative. Oh my gosh. Every time I look, it's no, Melissa Miller, they have a new person. That's what we're saying. Chick-fil-A changed. They have a new CEO who's trying to be inclusive to LGBTQ and got rid of the church music. So that's why they're being boycotted by Christians. So the question then becomes, do liberals want to go in and buy a Chick-fil-A support, or it's not their battle to fight? I don't know. It's just a conversation piece because it goes to show the power of what happens when you're under a boycott. In this case, the boycott coming from the right. Yeah. All right. I don't know what's going to happen with Trump. Let's take a look. Somebody stole the document. The document that he had cannot be located because the document has been stolen. But, he was also selling information. They're pretty sure. I mean, Trump was a spy. We already told him. It's like he's a spy. He got it. They're arresting Russian spies living at Trump Tower, and they're hauling their boats away. So it was stolen. They really can't find it. It's really missing, and he really can't find it. And he really has somebody in his orbit stole the documents. He is king of cups, in the clouds. He has no idea what the hell happened. Look up, there's an investigation right over him. Find the damn documents. Find the damn documents. He can't find the documents. They don't know what happened to it. He really genuinely doesn't know what happened to it. What happened to it? The truth coming out. Archangel Michael over it. A thief. Someone has stolen the documents. Oh my God. Every time you people send me in, I swear, I just, oh my God. Every time you guys send me in, look at this. He's up at night. Who took the document? Where did it go? The last time I saw it, it didn't walk off by itself. When was the last time I saw it in my possession? Guy Jets, his own people stole it. What? One of his own stole it. He's been betrayed. He was betrayed by his own. Somebody who trusted stole the document. Oh, find out more? Okay. I'll do another one. Heartbroken. Who would have sold? Dang. Somebody in his orbit, a man, stole the document. He's heartbroken. Look at this. So they'll find the feds. The page of swords is over the thief. So who knows who it is? But whoever it is, they'll find out who it is. That's right, Elizabeth M. They're going to flush it out. They'll find him. Well, whoever it is, he's presented as a king of swords. Maybe it was one. But what's weird about those cards is that Trump genuinely can't find it. that he was throwing them all over the place, wheeling and dealing, buying leverage, etc. And then in the middle of chaos, genuinely lost some documents and genuinely can't find them. That's basically what it looks like. It's not like he knows where they are and isn't telling. Yeah, very strange. In terms of student loans, yeah, I mean, like, I'm really glad that I had 3 years break and got to go on vacations, but we're worried about our retirements, and rightly so. Supposedly, if you're disabled, you can get them forgiven. So I guess if we're old enough and sick enough, they won't come out. I don't know. Let's take a look at the future of student loans. It's very scary right now. But I trust Uncle Joe. I do. Trust our president. Let's take a look. People feel trapped financially. I mean, it's because the price of things is so high. The price of food, etc., is so high right now that, and with wages stagnant, that, you can see where people are at. Nine of Wands. They're trapped. The other in relationship to us has the world. Our world is getting smaller and smaller. They're taking up more territory, right? The hopes and fears, Biden. They will be buried. They'll be forgiven. Four of Swords. It's fake debt anyway. I mean, I didn't borrow $360,000 from the government. I borrowed 180 and gave them 40,000 back. So I should owe what, 140 with it. But if you think in terms of inflation, maybe 200K. No, less than 200K. So that's the issue. Should the government make $160,000 off of some poor foster kid who made it to a med school and who has no inheritance, who has, the poorest of the poor? These are the people that benefit from these programs, and yet they are having to pay more for their education than the rich because they're having to pay compounded interest. The rich are not paying compounded interest. They're paying a lower fee for this education because they pay cash. Or they get scholarships because of who their parents were. And so from the very beginning, things go against the ability of a poor person to get ahead. And that is ultimately the conflict of education. But you see a new contract coming. I feel like the Democrats need another 2 or 3 years to take care of this problem. Hopes and fears that the American people will have nothing, homeless, bankrupted. It's right on Biden's shoulders. He's going to bury the debt as if it never existed. Four of Swords with the star. I mean, be of good intent. Pay what you can. I pay a ton in taxes to pay it back. I don't argue, right? $20,000, but I live simply. And as long as your intent is honorable and you're paying it back and you're paying your taxes, which they certainly got it back from me in taxes, man. I paid it off in taxes. I used to be a diner waitress at Johnny's Coffee Shop. I didn't pay taxes. Then I went to med school, and then after that, it was never the same, right? They were going to get that money back because they knew they knew that they had created a situation where American doctors couldn't pay the money back, and American doctors don't pay it back. So instead, they tax doctors. They have all these crazy ways that they tax doctors. They tax our private practices. Yeah, it's pretty crazy because they know, we got our money back. We took care of you, Dr. Whimsy. I know you did. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm just not okay with compounded interest and that poor people should pay more for the same services. And that I have a moral and ethical problem with. Okay, this question is coming from Kathleen O'Malley. Liz Cheney, what's her chances? That's a really great question. And of all the people running, I would say that she has the best chance of nipping the whole MAGA thing in the bud, because she was the one who really has distanced herself, right? Whereas Nikki Haley can't say that. I think Nikki Haley's chances are pretty good too, but she's running a very tight line because of her relationship with the former administration. Let's take a look. Liz Cheney's chances of winning the presidency in 2024. She will do everything in her power to make sure this man does not become the president, even to the point of she's better as an ambassador. She's going to be offered an ambassadorship or some position at the State Department. This has come up for her before. She's reaching across the aisle with Democrats. She presents as a lover's card. The other in relationship with her, the King of Swords. So she is so on the outs with the Republican Party with this kind of energy. They want her to leave the Republican Party and run as an independent. They don't consider her a Republican anymore. It's Trump's party. They don't consider her a Republican. A rhino. Hopes and fears a new beginning for the Republican Party, her final outcome, the world. She's an ambassador. Put her in an ambassadorship position. And she's very upset with the state of her party. She feels that Trump destroyed her party. She feels that it's insane what her party connected with Trump. She feels that this will come to no good, that it's only going to get worse. She will probably leave the Republican Party and be without a party, and instead just wants to be a patriotic American. And for that reason, she could very likely be offered a position with the State Department. I'll show it to you. Reaching across the aisle to the other, right? The other being the Democrats. And then we have this grief card here, just tremendous grief over what has been lost. You can just see that grief coming in. Five of Cups is all about what you lose. Look at the state of her party, who she's having issue with. Trump, and then look at the chaos. He has destroyed her party. Tower right over him. This is Trump's card. He destroyed her party. How else could you interpret it? The hope and the fear. Look at this. New beginning for the party. Look at this. The addiction. She sees him as an addiction that has destroyed her party. Very easy to read these cards. She goes into the world politics, right? That's more state, international. So it would be the State Department. And she puts the Republican Party behind her, the Queen of Swords. Great future in the State Department. Well, where is she interested? I mean, which country does she want to? I have a couple of places I think I would put her in the State Department. It's not a political, you don't have to have a different, she doesn't want to be represented by a political party. I think she'd be very happy serving her country in an ambassadorship role. I think France would be nice. Austria would be a very good position as well, because there's a lot going on between the United States and Austria, particularly with the whole Trump investigation and how January 6th was planned. And there were things that were happening in Austria. So it'd be kind of funny if she ended up getting the ambassadorship out of Austria, since so much corruption was happening out of there. Meetings, etc. Okay, let's do a couple more and then we will call it a day because I think somebody else is probably going to come online pretty soon. Yeah, it would be. Well, they do have public service for college students. They didn't really have that available for naturopathic doctors. They had it for MDs, though. So it wasn't something that was available to us. Europe has free college. Well, that would be cool. Well, they dig up Inanna Coffin. I don't know who Inanna is, Gail St. John. But let's see if they're going to dig up Inanna's coffin. Ooh, what is this about? Why, was somebody murdered and they had to dig up a coffin or something? There's some kind of investigation I see, and joy over an investigation. And stars over the person overseeing the investigation or the judge, a new beginning, and something about addiction and codependency, and ship coming in. So I would say that the answer is yes. Mm-hmm. Well, I think, Trump might know what's going on, and he definitely likes to collect things, right? He was always collecting different things. But in these cards, it kind of suggests that he may not totally know where everything has gone to. And yeah. So comments about the Chick-fil-A protest, because it's part of pop media, like we should talk about it, I guess. Marcelina Robalato said that Chick-fil-A needs to do some marketing campaign about being more inclusive. I love the chicken biscuits, but boycott because of the historically being exclusive. Now I'll go back because of the policies. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely something we need to be aware of. For example, if they're making all these changes, which are changes that we wanted them to make, and then they in good faith make those changes, at that point, we be willing to say, okay, I'm willing to give this establishment a try because they're making an effort? I guess that's the real conversation. Yeah. I think so. I think when if a company is being inclusive, then same with plant-based. I tend to be looking more towards plant-based and what a company is doing to the environment. And if it's making more thoughtful choices, then I'm going to be more apt to consider purchasing from them. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and see if there's going to be more raids with Trump properties. Don't you think there would have to be if they honestly don't know where this stuff is? The feds are going to be like, you know what? We don't want to raid your property in Jersey or New York, but it's looking like that's where it's headed at this point. So let's take a look. Jeez. Crazy. Yes, there will be more raids. There was also some tip-offs from the feds. And here we have it, the raid. A tip-off from the feds. Hopes and fears, gossip or speaking out, and then the truth coming out. So yeah, somebody gave some information and it results in a raid. So yes, more raids ahead. I guess they really don't have a choice, right? If he's facing incarceration as an outcome. Can you imagine? And thank you to everybody today who has donated to our not-for-profit feedingamerica.org, which helps offer foods to people in America who need help. So thank you to everyone who's donated to our charity today. Much appreciation. Student Loan Tuesday, I don't know. I'll think about it. We have to wait and see what the president's going to do. Based on these cards, they're all going to be free. I still would like, in good faith, to pay back what I borrowed. Just because it's the right thing to do. Just checking all these questions. I think I'll do one more. Are the numbers down for Papa or for Chick-fil-A? Yeah, 30%. And also people have stopped buying Bud Light because of their tolerance campaigns. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Gail St. John still refuses to eat there. Yeah, I mean, to each his own. The bread smells like cake when you walk past a Chick-fil-A. That's why I wanted to try it. It's like, wow, that smells pretty good. That smells like cake. I bet that's pretty tasty, but I haven't tried it yet. Grilled chicken breast or nuggets. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the copper broom. She wants to know if Lindsey Graham will be indicted. Let's take a look. Oh, look inside his ex-wife's coffin. Oh my God. Can you believe, you know what? If I thought that this planet was real, I don't now. Like, this has got to be some crazy matrix, because this couldn't be really, I must be in a coma or something. Like, I must be dreaming this. This can't be real, right? I don't know. Let's see if Lindsey Graham's, I think Lindsey Graham could be prosecuted. His cards are terrible. I'm sweet on Lindsey Graham. No, I just felt like Lindsey Graham is all, you go into his energy, it's like, everyone should be kind. Everybody should, it's like, you are a very confused person. I just think that Lindsey Graham is very confused. He presents as very confused. All right. Lindsey Graham, a new beginning for him. His party is going up in smoke. He continues to hold tight to Trump, and he's facing a possible police action or raid. A new beginning awaits him. He's facing the collapse of his party because MAGA ran afoul of the feds, and so the feds are basically closing them down. That's how I interpret it. And so every time you go into the energy of the GOP, this has happened twice today. The GOP just collapses. The issue for him, the hope and the fear, is his connection with Trump. The fact that they have this uncanny attachment, right, that has ultimately destroyed the party, resulting in a police raid or police action. So yeah, it's very likely he is charged. We'll do the clarification. It's a sad ending for Lindsey. You look at his career in the Senate, it wasn't all bad. He did do some bipartisan work. I don't know what happened to him. I honestly don't. He was considered one of the more moderate, you know. I think he's, it's really looking like he may have to leave the Senate, to be honest with you. I can't believe he aligned himself with this. Thank you, Anonymous, for that $10 donation to Feeding America. I mean, look, truth coming out over him, a new beginning. He's got the tower over them. They got some goods on him. 9 of Pentacles in the opposition. Dang. That's bad. Hopes, that's evidence. That's like they got something on him with a tower. Dang. His relationship, look at that, 2 of Cups with the devil. That's his thing. That's the whole MAGA. He got too far into the whole MAGA thing. And look at this. The wish card falls on the feds. I think he's in really big trouble. How could it be different? How could it be different? They were harassing and threatening poll workers in Georgia, and he participated. Of course, he engaged in obstruction. So, and intimidation. He was part of that. I think it's very likely. How do I think it will end? I think that he will be pressured to leave the Senate. There's a lot of evidence against him. Yeah. It's very sad. Anytime someone decides to leave the Senate early, like what happened with Al Franken when he was asked to leave the Senate early, it could be when this whole thing blows that he is asked to leave the Senate early. Yeah, it's basically how I would interpret those cards. Either way, the feds get their wish. The wish card lands on the feds. And that's a raid card. That's an aggressive card that can often be like a police raid. So not good for Lindsey Graham. And not good for the Republican Party. Not healthy for the Republican Party because we don't really have a Republican Party anymore. People had asked me about Ron DeSantis because when I do HCRV, we align ourselves with a particular energy of an individual. I always end up going absolutely nowhere, and I'm afraid of the feds. All of a sudden, I have this federal investigations on top of me, and that seems to be what's happening with Ron Santos. He's crashing in the polls. I think his polls dropped something like 30 points. He raised a ton of money, though. He raised something like 8.2 million, but it's predominantly from a handful of wealthy donors. He's really collapsing, and now all this stuff is coming out that his hands may not be as clean regarding certain things as he had claimed. So there's that going on. I think Lindsey Graham, at the very least, would have to leave the Senate if something like that happened. You look at people have had to leave the Senate for far less. Crude jokes that were made 5-10 years before the guy became a senator in the case of Al Franken. So, yeah. Yeah. All right. Love and light to you all. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Again, thank you, everyone who gave donations to Feeding America. I know the people that receive help are very grateful. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com or just book directly with Booksy, and that information is below this video. Also, if you need to see me as a medical intuitive or as a naturopathic doctor, that information is also below this video. If you just have one question and you need me to tape a quick answer, you can send me a question on Wizio. Again, that information is below this video as well. Thank you, everyone. Special shout out to Debbie Brady, extraordinaire. Thank you for all your help. Thank you also to Joel Tilson for his help, Joyce Pietras, and anybody and everybody else who has helped today. In case I forgot to mention your name, K Travel Tarot. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Be well.